So today, lads, we're going to be talking about whether or not Azzi Fudd should be taken number one by the Dallas Wings. And obviously, things can change. It is December. At this stage last year, I think I was the only person who had Malonga mocked in my top three in the WNBA draft. Most people had her going like 6, 7 this time last year. And realistically, she could have gone one. In a redraft, I think 50% of GMs take her number one. And that is with an insanely good Paige Bueckers. That's not even a knock on Paige. Like, Malonga's just been that good. That being said, though, we got to talk about Azzi Fudd, who, if there was a Paige Bueckers type prospect in this draft, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Because I don't think that our fam is a Malonga type prospect. Because Malonga, like, as good as Malonga has been, like, we all knew Malonga was kind of a project, whereas our fam, she might be better. She's better right now. But she's not this freak athlete, 6'6" with a 7'2" wingspan, who projects to be an MVP candidate. That being said, though, we got to talk about Azzi Fudd here. And today, obviously, UConn played against USF, and like USF aren't terrible. They're not terrible. I'll give them that. They're not terrible. UConn absolutely destroyed them. And Azzi Fudd was terrible. By her standards, she was terrible, but it doesn't matter. Just like I don't care about what our fam's box score is against a team that doesn't, a team of chumps. I don't really care that Azzi Fudd, she had an off shooting night in a game they won by near 40. I don't actually care. Again, the games that matter, like, geez, what happened? They won by 35 and Gandhi still couldn't get in. Is she injured? Or just that far out of the rotation? But at the end of the day, when it comes to it, UConn are going to blitz teams in most of their games. I get it, USF beat Duke. Duke absolutely, like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with Duke. Like, Duke are 3-5 on the season. They lost to, they're losing to bad teams, and then their next game against LSU, like, they're probably going to go to 3-6 on the season through 9 games from a team that started off the season ranked 5 in the nation. But Azzi Fudd, realistically, didn't have to really show up today. She didn't, and it doesn't really matter. But we got to just talk about the player, not looking at this on a game by game basis, because these players have years and years of clips to look at. And I will say this when it comes to Azzi, is that she is the best shooter in this draft. Her and Neepkins, in terms of pure who can make the most shots, I would say are very similar. The difference is Azzi's release is the quickest, whereas Neepkins takes a bit of time to get a shot off. You're clearly taking Azzi over Jan Neepkins. Positives to Azzi is she is the best off-ball mover in the draft. If your team is already elite, she's plug and play. She's going to shoot the ball at a 35+% rate from 3, which as a rookie is impressive. The likelihood is she'll shoot over 40. And she's not one of those stand in the corner and wait to shoot the ball players. She is an off-ball mover. She'll come off cuts. She cuts very well to the basket. Negatives with Azzi Fudd: doesn't get to the basket. She has her only shot creation is a one dribble pull up midi, and a lot of that is due to coming off off ball movement, and she doesn't get to the free throw line at all. She doesn't really attack the basket. She doesn't get to the free throw line at all. Defensively, quick hands, not the quickest feet. So I would put, if you're asking me of what level of defense I would put her at, I would put her at I don't think she's Paige level on defense. She's not Paige level as like an off-ball get in lanes player. I think she's Paige level as an on-ball defender, which for me is I don't know. I think she's probably a better defender than rookie Caitlin Clark, worse defender than year 2 Caitlin Clark. Just for a general if someone just wants generally how she's going to get on the defensive end. But she's not going to get exposed on defense, but she's not going to be locked down by any means. And why would Dallas make the pick of taking her? And also, She's tore, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's tore both her ACLs, and she has not played a full season of college basketball, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think she's played a full season of college basketball. So, actually no, 24, 25 last year. So last year, when she only came in, by the way, she only came into the squad after after a couple of games. She has not played one full season of college basketball. She played 15 games in the Lou Lopez Seneschal year, Dorka Juhas year. She played 25 games as a freshman, averaging 12 points per game. And this is the first season, like, she's averaged 13 points per game in college. And I get it, they've been on good teams. This season, she's been exceptional. And the game that does matter is the Michigan game where she had 31. But again, she has not played one full season of college basketball. So if you look last year when she came to the team, she came to the team on the 21st of November. So playing 12 minutes. And by the time she was properly healthy, she was terrible in this USC game. By the time she was properly healthy, it was probably, realistically, might have been after the Tennessee game. I still cannot believe she robbed Sarah Strong for MOP. But she has not had one full healthy college season. She'll be 23. She's 23 years old right now. She'll be 24 years old right after rookie season ends. And Azzi Fudd, who has not played a full season healthy in her entire college career, is going to be expected to, because she's a win now player. So how she gets on her rookie season is like, she's projected to be almost as good as a rookie. Like, she's going to improve just being a pro, but like, she projected to be closer to her ceiling than an Awafam. So when it comes to Azzi Fudd, do you think that a player who I think has tore both ACLs and just has bad legs is going to be able to withstand a full college season where UConn are probably going to get the national championship game, and on top of that, then go straight into a WNBA season where it's 44 games with a team, like, she gets a Team USA break right before the playoffs, because she's not going to be on that Team USA team. But like, if it turns out that there's talk about her being on that Team USA team, she doesn't get a break. She does not get a break for a year, for 12 months straight of playing basketball, for somebody who has not played a full college season. So that has to be taken into account, because the best ability is availability. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, these questions were there with Paige. Paige realistically just had that ACL injury. And by the way, Paige Bueckers did not play back-to-backs. Like, Paige didn't play back-to-backs. Paige missed, was it 6 games in her rookie year? So, like, Paige wasn't, it's not that Paige was, there were injury issues with her as a rookie. But, like, if Dallas were in the playoff hunt and they were fighting for the playoffs and they missed out on the playoffs by a game or two, which they didn't, but hypothetically they did, there would have been questions about Paige Bueckers' health. And that's genuinely a thing. So you've now got, obviously, a player in Azzi, who I do think, no matter what anyone wants to say, there is question marks about her health. And I think short term, she might be the right pick. But I think when it goes to draft, you draft for who you think is going to be best for your franchise long term, not who's going to appease your star. I don't think you draft her number 1. And I think the lower she goes down in the draft, the more you can look at what she brings now versus potential. Because if you're drafting at number 1, you're trying to draft a future number 2 beside Paige Bueckers. That is what you are trying to draft. And I don't think she's a number 2 at the WNBA level. I think she's a number 3, number 4. And for me, the only reason why the Dallas Wings should draft her is if they absolutely hit a home run in free agency. If they hit a home run in free agency and the shooting guard is the one position they leave and they're a bubble contender, if everything goes right and things go wrong for the other teams, we might fuck about and make the finals, then absolutely, in that scenario, you draft Azzi Fudd. But unless that scenario happens, there's too many question marks. The injuries, the lack of creation, the projected average to below average defense, and the age factor that she is a super senior. And look, that does come into account. Like, being 23 years, being 23, about to turn 24 as a rookie, versus a 19 turning 20 in their rookie season. That has to be taken into account. I'll be interested to see how Flau'jae gets on in conference play, but there's only 3 players for me in the conversation. There's really 2, and there's one player, Flau'jae. We need to see how she gets on. She might enter the conversation. It's realistically between Azzi and between Awafam. And I just think there are so many more, green flags or less red flags with Awafam than with Azzi. Awafam's one red flag, by the way, is that she doesn't try against teams that suck. And by the way, we saw Azzi Fudd have 10 points against a team they won by 40 today. Like, she did exactly what Awafam's done. And for anyone being like, oh, Awafam's terrible on defense, she's look at her shot blocking numbers. If you watch Awafam play defense, one, she does not ever play drop coverage. She hedges every single screen. So she's never really in a position to just play drop coverage and block guards. And 2, every single defensive possession, she goes verticality. She goes verticality every possession. You are not blocking a shot with verticality. That just shows people that aren't actually watching her game. They're like, oh, she doesn't block shots. Yeah, but she goes vertical. It's a lot of the time better to go vertical, force a miss, and and someone gets a rebound. Rebounding for Awafam's a bit iffy, but force a miss, get a rebound, than it is to block the shot. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.